So today we have the EZ-SMX T39 Pro Controller. And honestly, I guess it seems like I'm the controller guy now. I get hundreds of emails now, so I have to be very selective. But this controller claims it's the cheapest Hall effect sensor controller. It's got a bunch of other things, so let's go ahead and get this opened up. So one thing that stuck out to me when I was initially looking at this controller was just how unique the color is. There's not many out there that have this kind of baby blue colorway to it. Typically you get white, black, and then maybe a gray, maybe a color. That's something that's gonna stand out on the shelf. And as you know, I have a pretty big controller shelf I'm building, so that's gonna go nice on the wall. So coming in at a mere $20, this is probably the cheapest Hall effect joystick controller that I've seen. It also claims to have NFC capabilities, which we'll test out. And as well, it says it has one programmable button. Usually there's programmable buttons, plural, on the back, but this just has one. So we'll figure out which one of these in the front that's going to be. Immediately, the feel in the hands is quite nice. If you can't tell, it's got this like frosted outer shell coating and then that powder baby blue under it. We've got full analog triggers on this, which if you know the comments that I've made in the past on analog triggers, I personally don't like them, but they're really great to have, especially for a wider range of games. So let's see how easy it's gonna be to pair this controller. If I'm using a Nintendo Switch controller, I want it to pair instantly. We'll try to find what the actual pair button to this is, because there's a lot of buttons on the face of this, if you notice. There's like a main center button, your typical plus and minus, a T button, which I'm guessing is a turbo button, an O button in the middle, and then this middle button, which I assume is to pair it. But okay, that's the home button. Very nice. Okay, so we have an instant pair on here. So let's give it a little test out. It's crazy because I always love trying out a new controller just to see if there's anything different, if there's anything new, but after a while, once you've reviewed one of the hundreds of Nintendo Switch controllers that get put out like daily, it seems like at this point, they all kind of blend together. Is there anything super remarkable about this? I think there was an initial gimmick when Hall effect control sticks first came out. It was like, how can we find a single controller that has Hall effect joysticks? But now that they're kind of like in the general population, I'd say almost looking for it as like a minimum threshold. If your controller doesn't have Hall effect joysticks at this point, you're missing out, especially coming from a system that classically has drifting issues. I will say the rubber coating on the thumbsticks is nice. Not a big fan of the way the triggers kind of just end. Other than that, I mean, it's comfy. It sure is comfy. And the plastic that's used on the outside has kind of like a matte finish, so that's always nice to hold. And you know, you're not gonna have any fingerprint issues with this. It looks like the programmable button as well is the O, and then the T is a turbo, so it's gonna be different because the O is gonna be like a single press and the turbo is gonna be a more comprehensive macro feature. Okay, so I do need to correct myself. I had them switched up. The turbo is definitely going to be a macro for a single button press, whether that's A, B, X, Y, whatever you want to press on the controller. So you long hold T for turbo, it'll vibrate, and then you click your corresponding button you want to bind that to. The O, or I guess like little zero function on this, is going to be the regular macro, and that's any combination up to a certain point. You hold the T and the O, feel the vibration, and then press any combination of keys you want, and those will play out. Now, macros, turbos, they're definitely very niche. I would be disappointed if it wasn't on the controller, but I don't particularly use them, to be honest. So these are like things that I feel like are standard function. So one thing I am curious about is whether or not the NFC feature will work, just because NFC is usually something that's left out on controllers Usually not a feature included in many. If it's $20 and it comes with Hall effect and all of the classical whiz bangs and jangles that usually come with these types of controllers, but also comes with NFC, I don't know, I'd say it's a pretty good deal. Look, I don't have any amiibos or anything that you can scan as NFC, except these little cards, which are NFC enabled cards that I may or may not have programmed with some amiibo cards, specifically for Animal Crossing. So that's what we're gonna be testing it out with. I mean, sue me if this isn't entirely accurate, but these do work, so I think it'll be a pretty accurate test. Oh, okay, so that worked. I'm not entirely sure like what the standard was for that, so we're gonna try again. Usually it's on a thumbstick. The instructions don't mention like how to do the NFC, just that it's included. Okay. Oh, failed to read amiibo. Okay, maybe not. This will be really weird if it's something that's in between. Maybe it's something like here. Okay. So if you're going to be using NFC, which it does work, you're gonna wanna put it kind of in that main triangle right here, right in the center, which, sure, that works fine. It's kind of awkward with the card, but I think most of the amiibos are gonna fit a little bit better in that area. Here are my final thoughts. It is a pretty sweet deal. I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty sweet deal. The baby blue is very unique. The controller feels nice and there aren't any glaring issues that I see so far. It comes with everything you'd ever need. Of course, your typical gyro motion controls. It comes with NFC. It has Hall effect joysticks. And so, I mean, I don't think there's anything that you're gonna be missing with this. So if you like the baby blue, I think you should check it out. And if you wanna check it out, I'll have the link in my description. With that being said, thanks for watching and checking this video out, and I'll see you next time.